It wasn't exactly the most thrilling performance of his career, but Cory Sandhagen secured a comfortable, unanimous decision win over Rob Font in the UFC on ESPN 50 headliner in Nashville. Sandhagen relied heavily on his grappling game to get him through this fight. Font didn't really have much answers in that regard. It ended up as a lopsided decision. It was a bit of a tough watch. The crowd was booing. UFC President Dana White reportedly got up from his seat and left in the later rounds of this fight. But Sandhagen reveals after the fact that he suffered an arm injury leading up to that worsened in the first round, so he just opted to take the path of least resistance, and I find it difficult to blame him too much for doing that. A lackluster win is better for his career than if he was to fight unsmartly and ultimately maybe lose this fight because of the injury or whatever the case may be. He gets caught on the feet. So for him, I think he needs to be happy about how this all played out in the grand scheme of things, and at the end of the day he is still at the forefront of the title picture in the bantamweight division, and I think maybe has a decent chance of getting the next title shot in this weight class. It just depends on how things unfold really going forward. Of course, we are less than 2 weeks away from the bantamweight title being on the line between Aljamain Sterling and Sean O'Malley at UFC 292 in Boston. Sandhagen says he has dibs on facing the winner of that. Remains to be seen what happens there, of course. Sterling has said he's thinking about moving up to featherweight if he's able to defend his title again and open the door for his teammate and very good friend Merab to come in for a title shot. Perhaps that's how it goes. If O'Malley wins, it really opens up the weight class all over again as far as who they could slide in there. But I think Sandhagen, despite this performance, is one of the more exciting, dangerous, and compelling contenders out there. Dvalishvili, of course, I think has the stronger resume at this point and warrants the title shot first, but he is currently dealing with an injury, and if Sterling wins, decides not to move up, then who knows how this all plays out. Of course, Sterling does already have the win over Sandhagen, so that perhaps slides him back in the queue a little bit, but I think he's in a good spot no matter how you cut it up and how you may want to criticize this performance. No guarantees he gets it next, but I think Sandhagen's got to be pretty happy with where he's at right now, and I think there is the possibility he does fight for UFC gold next, depending on how it plays out at UFC 292.